Okay, by the way, I noticed that I don't have a skin disease. That I notice that I constantly looks like I'm scratching myself, but that's just my active hands when I'm talking. I'll try to stop it. It's nothing I can do about this tooth either. That's a platinum tooth from when I was a kid, getting my mouth, getting a basketball injury. So anyway, this fourth issue, where I break with the Libertarians, is over the Federal Reserve. Many Libertarians are almost as hostile to the Federal Reserve as they are to the Internal Revenue Service. This is silly. A central bank regulating monetary policy is far more of a blessing than a curse. The United States tried the Libertarian prescription on currency. After Andrew Jackson destroyed Nicholas Biddle's Second Bank of the United States, paper currency became a commodity. The Libertarian ideal, the perfect, triumphed over the good. The imbecile era of wildcat banks, each printing its own currency, ushered in the worst depression in American history. Thank you, Andrew Jackson. You can add that crime to the list along with the Trail of Tears. A central bank is synonymous with stability. A central bank favors creditors over debtors. Most of us want to save and build. Thus, indirectly, the Federal Reserve underpins an environment where social mobility may flourish. So this is the fourth issue where the Libertarian position is on the wrong side, in my opinion, of social mobility. Libertarians revel I'm on already to the Environmental Protection Agency. I'll skip that for a while, hold that back. Maybe I'll finish it. Libertarians revel in abusing the Environmental Protection Agency. I do not share their contempt. Libertarians assert the self-interest of the landowner, will restrain him from environmental abuse. That, of course, is true, so long as the landowner is wise and thinks in a long-term time frame. However, the unwise, short-term thinker can expediently create big problems downstream. He should be restrained. That restraint protects the wise landowner and all the rest of us. My home state, Colorado, under lax environmental policies, could pollute the drinking water of half the country. As long as the administrative process is transparent, open to all stakeholders, final authority for land use decisions should rest with the EPA. All right, then I'll go back into my gun rights, which I'll pick up in a bit. Let me see if I can find this article that I had the other day. This is a classic example. Think about Colorado. We're the source for the Colorado River, the Rio Grande, the Arkansas River, the Platte, the Green, the Yampa. All of those rivers flow out of our mountains into arid country, dry country. And look what Arizona's doing here. Tension over the drought-stressed Colorado River escalated into a public feud when 4 U.S. states accused Arizona's largest water provider of manipulating supply and demand, potentially threatening millions of people in the United States and Mexico who rely on the river. The 4 states, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, plus Denver's water utility, said that the Central Arizona Project was trying to avoid a reduction in its share of the Colorado River, while others are voluntarily cutting back to avoid a crisis amid a prolonged drought. It's one water user taking advantage of a situation for their own benefit to the detriment of a river that supplies nearly 40 million people. That's our dude, Denver Water, Jim Lockhead. And Denver Water gets half of its water supply from the Colorado River. The Central Arizona Project denied the allegations and said it's been conserving. The utility uses canals, pipelines, and aqueducts to carry 336 miles from the Colorado River to about 5 million people in central and southern Arizona. The Colorado River is the lifeblood of the southwestern U.S. and northwestern New Mexico, but it's under increasing strain because demand is rising while the river is shrinking. Researchers blame an 18-year drought and climate change for the decline. All right, now, the fact that a bunch of my libertarian friends are climate change deniers is another issue, but I won't get into that. Let's see here. The outlook is getting worse. Last winter, what was exceptionally dry across most of the central and southern Rocky Mountains. And this year is worse, I think. So there will be below average melting snow to feed the river. Well, you can guess where this goes. There is no, I mean, could you imagine if, I mean, we could cut off Arizona. We say, oh, we'll take it all. Screw you. You know, I mean, this is where we have to cooperate, and this is, you know, and like I said, climate change denial. I mean, that's just the. Of course, my uncle and my cousin are big into climate change denial too, and like that's the ultimate. And no, science isn't real. So anyway, the libertarian position is that the landowner can do whatever he wants. Think about most Native Americans and particularly the Cherokee come to mind immediately. Is there was private property. The Cherokee tribe had private property. The landowner did not own the land. The farmer did not own the land. He owned the improvements on the land. And that's kind of like in line with reality, don't you think? I mean, you got people claiming the landowner did not invent the land. Letting him have, saying it's okay for him to own it and all of that. And obviously anything that his labor went into, the wealth that he created off the land, that's his product of his labor. But he didn't invent the land, okay? That was invented by a higher power, and it's really arrogant to think that it's God ordained that it's yours. And I'll give you an example. A movie comes to mind, Arlington Road, which was a Project Greenlight winner, unknown screenwriter, and a great script. I'm trying to remember who It's about the terrorist in there is from Kansas. He's not motivated by religion or anything. He's angry. Well, when he finally explains to I think the actor was Timothy Bottoms and the other one was Jeff Bridges, if I remember right. Well, so Jeff Bridges is the guy that's figured out what this guy is up to, and he's just a little bit too late figuring it out, and he wants an explanation from the terrorist, and this guy says, well, my family's lived on this land in Kansas for 100 years, and the water authority came in and used eminent domain to condemn the land and build a dam, and this is the only weak part of the script in my mind. The Jeff Bridges doesn't look him right in the face and say, well, your family stole it from the Native Americans, You had the use of it for 100 years. It wasn't invented by you. If you got, I am not fond of unrestricted use of eminent domain. I think it has an authoritarian aspect to it, but there are projects, on a water project in this case, by the storyline, where the community has, the community overrides the individual in that case. And as long as there's due process and everyone gets to have their say and all that kind of thing, so be it. All right? And so the libertarian position of extreme opposition to eminent domain and the individual landlord can do whatever he wants, he can pollute all he wants and all that, that's not, I don't buy that at all. So I'm all for wise environmentalism and oppose my party, my ex-party, the Libertarians, for being so ideologically extreme about it.